Hey guys, RJ2438 here, and today I'm going to be counting down my top 5 favorite Nintendo consoles. Now keep in mind, I don't have like a few of these, so just be prepared to hear some games that I like that were on these consoles, and I still count them here. So yeah, let's get on to number 5. Also, this is my first top 5, so yeah, I hope you enjoy. Nintendo 64. Alright guys, don't get me wrong, the Nintendo 64 is a fantastic console. Like, it is amazing. But I have very few games for this thing on my Wii U Virtual Console. And all of them are good. Although, I just have this vibe that is keeping me from bringing the Nintendo 64 higher. Just because, like, one of these games was ported to the Nintendo DS. Also, you probably know which one that is. It's obvious, so I'm not even going to say the game. Anyway, yeah, there's really not anything else to say. Time for number 4. Nintendo GameCube. Okay, this thing has some amazing games, and that's why it's up here. Thing is, you need a memory card to play. At least to keep your memory. You can play without a memory card, but you're not really gonna be able to save anything unless you have one, which pretty much ruins its chance of being a really good Nintendo console. Anyway, it's not really, actually, I don't know what else to say at this point. This is actually kind of embarrassing. You can have up to 4 players on it, just like N64, which also brings it back up, but I only have, like, 20 games, so I know it's a lot, but still. I had way more games than that, so yeah. Nintendo 3DS. Okay, so the 3DS is the best DS. Like, it's the best DS, to be honest. It's got the best games. You can take it with you, obviously, so you can even charge it in your car nowadays, which is also pretty cool. And yeah, 3DS, some of my favorite games on the 3DS were Mario Kart 7, Pokemon X and Y, I guess Mario Party Island Tour, although I'll have to say it's kind of But anyway, yeah. For all those reasons, 3DS makes number 3. Although for some games, especially the Pokemon games, you need an SD card. Just like a memory card with the GameCube. Where have I heard that before? Nintendo Wii U. This thing may have failed in the long run, but it's still one of my favorite Nintendo consoles of all time. It's got by far the best games I've ever played from Nintendo, unless the Switch tops it with their Super Mario Odyssey. Yay. But anyway, the thing, like, literally, like, you don't have to play it on a TV. So kind of like a 3DS, you don't have to play it, like, on a TV, but you're limited to where you can take it. Like, if you take it, like, a few, like, feet away from not a few feet, but, like, into another room or something, then it's probably going to disconnect and won't be able to contact its father, which is the console. So, but yeah, the Wii U is amazing. And it's got Pro Controllers, so you don't have to use the gamepad. So if your gamepad dies and you can't find your charger, just hook up that Pro Controller and you can play games like Mario Kart 8, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, and stuff like that. But anyway, time for some honorable mentions. The first honorable mention on this list is the DS. So let me tell you a little bit more about the 3DS before I go into the DS. It can actually play DS games. So if the 3DS couldn't play DS games, it would probably go a spot up from where it was. But but trust me, it's still better than the GameCube. I just messed up my words. But anyway, let's get to the actual topic here, the DS. So the DS, it's basically the 3DS, but without. It's basically the very downgraded version of the 3DS. Yeah, what else can I say? It's my lowest honorable mention here. Alright, next honorable mention, the NES. The NES, or Nintendo Entertainment System, of 1985, saved video game history, basically, with Super Mario Brothers. Oh yeah, look up there. I put this poster in a different video, so yeah. If you can see, like, NES Super Mario Brothers of 1985. That game saved the video game industry. So that's exactly why the NES is here. I only played 3 of its games. Those are the Mario games. And let me say that they're good. Really good. And my last honorable mention on this list is the Nintendo Switch. The Nintendo Switch has by far the best lineup, not best lineup of games, but it's got the best ways to play. You can take this thing on the go. It's a console, and you can play console games on this thing, and you can charge it, which may not sound good at first, but in the long run, it might be worth it. And it will probably beat the Wii U by a landslide. But the thing that's keeping it from being high on this list is the fact that it's got very few games so far. We're just gonna have to wait until they get more games. And the number 1 is pretty obvious. You probably knew what number 1 was from the start. But the number 1 best Nintendo console of all time is the Wii. So let me tell you something. The first 2 Wii games that we ever owned were Wii Sports, probably the best-selling video game of all time. Maybe not anymore, but I didn't really do that much research. And we got Super Smash Bros. Brawl. And I loved the crud out of that game. Like, I would play that game up for hours upon hours when I was a kid. Nowadays, I can just spend my time playing Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U. Or go back to old times and go check out Melee. But, alas, the Wii died. Well, it didn't really die. I mean, they still have games out for that thing, and the GameCube didn't. Oh my god. So anyway, yeah, the Wii has motion controls, and yeah, the motion controls in some games they work pretty terribly. I mean, in games like, oh, I don't know. Next, if you don't want to play a game with motion controls, the Wii also has as a normal Pro controller, so you can play with that. But I still think that motion controls were a good idea, especially for games like Wii Sports, Wii Party, and other things like that. So yeah, for all of these reasons, and the fact that it's got one of the best lineup of games I've ever seen for Nintendo, it is my number 1. Thank you guys for tuning into this video, and please make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all for the next video. Goodbye, guys.